Episode 6, The Final Broadcast. The sterile air of the clinic felt heavy with Evelyn's words. She held up the silver locket, the metal catching the harsh light. Clara was a fool, Evelyn said, her voice a low, rhythmic hum. She thought she could blackmail me for the irregularities in my records. 10 years ago, I put a stop to that. I kept this as a reminder that I am the one who decides who stays and who goes in this town. Evelyn stepped closer, her shadow stretching across the linoleum. Chloe was an even bigger disappointment. She found this locket in my safe while she was looking for her father's secrets. She thought she was being a hero. Evelyn's eyes were devoid of any remorse. I kept her in my medical freezer for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to dump her. I needed Julian to take the fall so I could finally be rid of the Vance family's messy history. The doctor raised the syringe, the needle glinting like a needle of ice. Now, it's your turn, Maya. You've been a very effective catalyst, but your part in this story is over. She began to advance, her movements precise and deliberate. Maya backed away, her heel catching on the leg of a metal tray. The room felt smaller with every step Evelyn took. "Stop right there," Maya said, her voice suddenly steady. She reached into her jacket and pulled out her cellular backup deck, the heavy-duty transmitter she used for remote field recordings. A small red light was pulsing rhythmically on the device. "I didn't come here to hide, Evelyn. I came here to broadcast. Every word you just said went straight to my podcast servers and the County Emergency Dispatchers Network. The whole town is listening." For the first time, the mask of the surgeon cracked. Evelyn's face contorted into a mask of pure primal rage. In the far distance, the faint, wailing cry of sirens began to cut through the sound of the rain against the clinic windows. The game was up, and they both knew it. With a scream of frustration, Evelyn lunged. She didn't care about the needle anymore. She swung the heavy medical tray at Maya's head. Maya dove to the side, the tray crashing into the wall with a deafening clang of metal on brick. The two women grappled in the narrow space between the exam table and the cabinets, a desperate struggle for survival. Maya scrambled toward her gear bag, which had been kicked into the corner. She needed something, anything, to defend herself. Evelyn was on top of her in an instant, her hands clawing at Maya's throat. Maya's fingers closed around a heavy, rectangular object, her professional field recorder encased in its rugged, metal-reinforced housing. As Evelyn leaned in for a final strike, Maya swung the heavy recorder upward with every ounce of strength she had left. The solid corner of the device connected squarely with Evelyn's temple. The doctor's eyes rolled back, and she slumped forward, her body falling limp against the cold clinic floor just as the front doors of the building were kicked open. The room was suddenly flooded with the harsh beams of tactical flashlights. Officer Kalin of the state police burst through the doorway, his sidearm drawn but lowered as he saw the scene. Behind him, Chief Thomas Vance stumbled in, his face a mask of broken pride. He looked at the unconscious Evelyn, then at the locket on the floor, his shoulders sagging under the weight of his own corruption. The police moved quickly. Officer Kalin knelt over Evelyn, snapping heavy steel cuffs onto her wrists as she began to stir. Thomas Vance didn't fight as another officer led him away. The surgeon and her guard dog were finally being taken into the light. Maya sat on the floor, her breath hitching as the adrenaline finally began to fade, the red light on her recorder still glowing. 3 months later, the fog over Blackwood Bay felt different, less like a shroud and more like a veil being lifted. Evelyn Reed was behind bars awaiting trial for double murder, and Thomas Vance was serving time for his decade of cover-ups. Maya Lynn stood on the jagged cliffside, her microphone held to the wind, recording the final lines of her most successful season. "The truth is like the tide," Maya whispered into the microphone, her voice carrying over the crashing waves below. "You can try to bury it in the deep or hide it behind a professional mask. But eventually, the water recedes, and the echoes of what we've done return to the shore. This is Maya Lynn, And this was the final broadcast of Echoes of the Deep.